So are we we're good to go? Okay. Well, nice to meet you all. It's amazing what the role that you all play now in politics and in election cycles. My 17-year-old daughter doesn't watch TV. She doesn't read newspapers. She doesn't listen to the radio. She gets 100% of her information from you all on the internet and other places on the internet. So you must be very excited about transforming politics. A few years ago, the way to do it, of course, is massive TV advertising, blast away. TV advertising can be important, but I'll tell you that the role of TV advertisers is shrinking, and it's personally I think it's a fantastic thing because the internet is so much more of an interactive tool, and advertising is just such a massive blast away, repeat. It's so expensive. And the other thing that you're doing, of course, is creating an opportunity for people who aren't necessarily so wealthy to actually run. In California, at least, you have to really be wealthy, or you have to sell yourself to the unions. I mean, those are the two choices, and that should be undemocratic. Now, as I mentioned in my speech, I taught 12th grade American government, and it's just a great honor to go over the founding principles. The Constitution of the United States is so short, so sweet, and compared to the Constitution of California, which is this big, bulky mess. So we want to cover the jobs plan just briefly, and then I'll be happy to take questions on any subject that you like, and tell me what's on your mind. But the centerpiece of my campaign is to restore a really healthy economy. We have to. California's economy is just fundamentally broken. And a lot of people in Sacramento, I got to tell you, are oblivious to it. There's 120 people in the legislature. A handful have ever made a payroll. And I don't know if you all have payrolls to me. I've ran companies for 20 years. You don't know what it's like until you've had to make a payroll. And you're sweating, you're going to be able to get enough money to make payroll. I mean, until you've gone through that experience. Here in California, we've made it so incredibly difficult now. The irony is that it was technology out of Silicon Valley that transformed the whole thing. So go back 30 years. 30 years before the internet and the global economy emerged, things were sticky. Venture capital and investment didn't move, so quickly. It was harder and less likely for people to pick up and leave. California could get away with having super high taxes and an abusive regulatory system because things weren't so mobile. Then out of Silicon Valley comes this technology from the Ciscos of the world that formed this massive, backbone that produced, a global economy and the internet. Now everything's changed. It's just so ironic that Silicon Valley technology is causing the pressure on Silicon Valley and the whole state of California now. So we are in a completely new economy. You all know that, of course. It's just intensely competitive. So I've been in Silicon Valley for 30 years now. Here's just a few comments from some of the CEOs I talked to. Cisco, quote, haven't created a new tech jobs in California in a decade. Intel just announced this new expansion of its chip manufacturing facilities with President Obama. In a lot of places across the country, none in California, laying off people in California. Hewlett Packard CEO, quote, California's no man's land. I wouldn't build another manufacturing facility here no matter what. Google. Now Google, pretty liberal bunch of people that run Google, but it's interesting. Look at Google's server farms. Google server farms that process these Google searches so fast. Are there any of them in California? No. Server farms everywhere, none in California because of the high cost of electricity and the regulatory environment. So it's a real simple concept. It's going to be the centerpiece of my campaign, as I said. And the concept is we have to be competitive in the global economy or we're done with. We are going to get steamrolled in the 21st century global economy. We will never balance the budget. We will never have the money to invest in the infrastructure where the state really needs some new investment until we have a healthy, robust economy. And it's fascinating. It's just a simple concept, and there's just a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of work to get that concept to sink in. I was at San Jose State University just a few days ago when I was rolling out this concept about you actually cut taxes and tax revenues will go up. There were some students there that they were so outraged with that concept they stormed the stage. And it was my first protest, my first demonstration. I was so proud. I'm a serious candidate now that I have demonstrators that follow me around. But my tax plan it is bold and it's comprehensive, and it will make a massive difference here. And we have a whole team of economists and policy folks that have carefully analyzed every tax cut in this country at the state level and the federal level the last 20 years. I'm just telling you, tax cuts work. They stimulate the economy every single time. So I want to cut taxes by 10% across the board on personal income taxes, a 10% cut in corporate taxes, a 10% cut in sales taxes, and a 50% cut in capital gains taxes. That will really make a huge difference. And then in addition, my jobs package, did you all hear were you all at lunch? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the second part of my package is the tort reform and the labor rule alignment with federal labor standards, and then a complete overhaul of the permitting process. And do we have that chart in here about the spaghetti chart? Is that in here? Yeah. Just look at this one chart before I get into your questions. It graphically tells the story. Nothing like a picture tells 1,000 words. Chart. Yep, this is it. This one here. We actually mapped out exactly what you'd have to go through to get the permission to build one circuit board factory in California now. I mean, it's a nightmare. Really. I mean, it takes a couple dozen different places. It takes years to go through this process, and you still might not get the permits at the end. I mean, it's just unacceptable, and that's got to change. So let me just finally say one thing about California. I know not all of you are from California. I appreciate you coming to visit our state. But I really do think California is a very special place. And I know there's a lot, not that's the only special place. There's a lot of great places in this country. But California is just something unique about it. You know, the weather, the natural resources, the entrepreneurial spirit. I am positive people will come back to this state to start and grow companies if we just simply, get out of the way. And that's what this jobs package is all about.